Hello, everybody, and welcome to this pop-up live stream. I normally go live on Sundays, but I wanted to do a live stream this Friday evening. How is everybody doing who is here live in the chat? So I wanted to kind of celebrate a recent Ancient Aliens feature, and I'm going to play a little clip from that. And then also do a Q&A and touch a little bit on 3i Atlas. How's everybody doing? I also just got back from Star Knowledge Conference in South Dakota. That was absolutely incredible. One of my favorite conferences that I've actually ever been to. It was in honor of Chief Golden Light Eagle. And I really got to immerse myself in the Native American culture, Native American ways. We did a sweat lodge. We did sound baths. We did breath work. And holy smokes, you guys, breath work is insane. Like, breath work is amazing. We did a 2-hour session, and I literally felt like my consciousness expanding. It almost feels like you're high. And I had this amazing breakthrough. So breath work is actually something I want to look into more. But yeah, it was incredibly profound. So I can share a little bit more about that. But how is everybody doing? Did everybody see the Ancient Aliens feature? So I'm on season 21, episode 14. Aliens in Our Midst is what it's called. And you can actually purchase the episode through Apple TV, or you can stream it through the History Channel on demand, I believe on their app. I think Hulu might be a few episodes behind, so you might not be able to see it on that. But so I'll dive into Ancient Aliens, touch on 3i Atlas, and then we'll open up for a Q&A. But yeah, Ancient Aliens approached me a little while back. I actually went out there. We got some people who watched it. I went out there. Hi, guys. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Awesome. Cool. We got some people who saw it. You'd love to learn more about breathwork. Yeah, I'll touch on that in a minute because it was absolutely incredible. Finally, yeah, I was very resistant to breathwork at first. I was very resistant, but it's a whole mind thing. But anyway, going back to Ancient Aliens, so they approached me last year, and they had actually seen my footage. Somebody recommended me to them because I had evidence. I started off as a space photographer, and that's how I wasn't in the UFO community. I wasn't in the Starseed community at all. I didn't know what a Starseed was until 6 months into having contact with these extraterrestrials and UFOs. And but I was documenting it with my camera, these experiences, and began having telepathic communication. I'm going to play a clip for you guys because they recently just posted it on YouTube and on Facebook, a clip of my segment. But they approached me and flew me out back in January to film this. And so that was a really cool, really interesting experience. But what they wanted to do was focus on people who are having contact now, like current contact experiences. You know, the show Ancient Aliens, usually they are talking about ancient stuff, you know, ancient theories and ancient evidence. So I was really excited that they reached out to me and they wanted to interview current contactees. And I think that also shows where we're heading. You know, that's a big part of disclosure, covering people who are having these contact experiences now, because it's not just me, it's thousands, maybe even 1 million plus people who are having contact or having these sightings. So that's super exciting. And so let me know in the chat, you guys. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to play part of this clip from Ancient Aliens, but let me know if you can hear it. I want to make sure that you guys can hear it. So give me a thumbs up if you can hear it real quick so I can make sure. No sound? Okay, well then I'll just have to do it this other way then. I don't know how to get it to do sound that way. So I don't know why it does that. That's super annoying. Okay, so we're going to do this a little janky. And I'm just going to play this screen recording.
November 17th, 2020.
Now, can you guys hear that?
Amateur astrophotographer Lily Nova spends the evening filming the night sky like she has most nights during the COVID-19 pandemic. But on this night, she observes more than just stars and planets.
I looked up at the sky and locked eyes with a hovering light. I started ruling out it's not a planet, it's not a star, it's not one of our aircraft. That's when I began to realize, wow, I think this is something else. This isn't anything of ours that I've ever seen before. So I started recording the light. And then a second craft appeared. This time it was much closer. It was a large diamond-shaped craft, and it had a strip of red and blue, green lights going across the middle. The craft moved up and down very quickly, and then side to side. And then it started coming straight towards me, and it vanished right above my head. I was in shock. I was actually kind of trembling a little bit when, coming that close face to face with something.
Roughly 2 months later, Lily had a second incredible sighting while sitting in her car that she recorded with her smartphone.
I could see a hovering craft over the skyline, and then I looked to my left, and I see another light, and there are 2 lights behind me in the trees, and lights in front of me now. And the lights would go up and down, they would change direction, they were doing everything that our normal craft don't do.
Did you see that light beam? So that's a beam of light that I caught being emitted from a craft that was right in front of me.
I had 13 encounters within the next 2 weeks, which was turned my life upside down, to say the least. And at that point, I realized, okay, something's going on here.
She started noticing unusual objects, balls of light.
Okay, now this part's important. So I'm super excited. They actually really went into some detail on my original contact, Talia, the original being who began contacting me, whose ships I was seeing. So this was, I know it's like super zoomed out, so sorry about that. This is a screen recording. But you can see that golden light right there, and there's clouds. It's all clouds in the sky. This golden light appeared, orb of light, and then that was my first telepathic contact with this being. So I'll go ahead and play that part.
I went out with a friend, and within 5 minutes, a golden orb of light appeared. I received a very vivid telepathic vision. I saw a woman with light blue skin and no hair, and she was wearing a skin-tight silver uniform. I would continue to see these craft and began receiving telepathic words and communication from this specific being. So in the coming months, I discovered that her name was Talia. After I actually got to see Talia, I immediately felt a stronger connection, and she would actually begin contacting me telepathically a lot, very frequently. And they were helping me to capture evidence, I believe, to help others to be able to wrap their heads around the reality that we are being visited by extraterrestrial species.
Lily is not alone in this. Other people across the world have reported a similar type of phenomenon where they start seeing these craft and they are able to have some sort of telepathic communication between themselves and beings that are on these craft.
Okay, so I'll leave it like that for now, but you can actually watch that full clip here. You see they got they posted it on their channel, but that's not the whole clip. So if you want to watch the full episode, again, you can do that on through the History Channel app. You can also purchase the episode by itself through Apple TV. And it is season 21, episode Aliens in Our Midst. So they cover a few different stories in that. I heard it was a really good episode. I actually haven't watched it yet, but yeah, I'm super excited about that. And let me wanted to pull up a picture of Talia too, actually. So here's Talia, my main contact. Well, my main mentor. I wish they would have asked me more questions about the messages that she shared with me, but maybe they'll have me back on. We'll see if they want to. I feel like they're kind of going through a shift in a lot. It's hitting more of the mainstream that this is a known thing. We're having contact. People are in contact right now. So that's super exciting. And Talia is my contact from the Andromeda constellation. So she's with the Andromedan Council. She works with the Alliance. She's very, very busy, very, very active galactic. So I still have contact with her now. But at the time, whenever my awakening first started, basically, I began having contact with her every single day. I could hear her in my head with me, and I would see her ships, and they would show up all the time. It was pretty incredible. And she would just begin teaching me things and showing me things. Again, I was not in the UFO or Starseed community, so I didn't know that other people were having this sort of communication. And she began teaching me a lot of spiritual principles, actually, about the chakras and about time being an illusion, how we're all one, we're all connected. She taught me about our DNA, our special DNA, and how most of it is dormant, but we can begin activating that. And she taught me how to activate my DNA, which I go into detail in my book, Contact, which is on Amazon and Audible as well. And she also taught me how to activate extrasensory perception, so different psychic abilities. And that's whenever I really began I began receiving visions and seeing things. Like, she helped me open my third eye. Now I can see these beings, and I can even see beings sometimes who are standing right in front of you or standing right next to you. Or I'll see a Sasquatch out of the corner of my eye, or, whatever it may be. I can tune in and, well, not even necessarily tune in. If I'm at a high enough frequency, I can just see them, because it's all about frequency, and they're just a little bit higher of a frequency than us, and the veil is thinning. So as we get into these heightened states, that's another big thing that she really taught me, was frequency and how to raise my frequency. She had me focus on that every day for over a year. I turned into a monk, you guys, meditating, focusing on my frequency, on activating psychic gifts, using frequency music and different modalities and things like that to be able to activate these gifts. So I'm telling you this just to share, a little bit of my background. And also, you guys can activate this within yourself too. She also taught me about, healing abilities, but I was already interested in that, how you can reprogram your mind, how you can heal yourself. So that's the basis of what they were teaching me. Also, before we jump too far ahead, or before I forget, I've got a LYRAN activation in honor of Three Eye Atlas tomorrow. And they actually just released, and then I'll take some questions from the chat, but they just released a new image of Three Eye Atlas that I want to share with you guys. Image file, let's see. So let's see the government try to cover this one up. This was actually taken by an amateur astrophotographer, or amateur, or maybe professional astronomer. So not like anybody affiliated with the government. It was an astronomer who caught this photograph. So it doesn't have a tail like a comet. And then there's this aura type shield around it, which is really interesting. So it's an anomaly. It's not, it looks weird. And the government is quite quiet about this. So that's a new image. I believe that came out either today or last night. So that's pretty exciting. And then I've got my activation tomorrow. If you'd like to get tickets for that, you can do that on my website. If you guys have been following my channel, then you know that 3i Atlas is a conduit for frequency, and it's interacting with our sun. It's interacting with, it's an extraterrestrial ship project, really, or program, mission to interact with our solar system, interact with our sun, help to dissolve the veil, help to raise our frequency and expand our consciousness. So tomorrow, in honor of that, and the Lyrans are very heavily involved in that, so are a bunch of other different types of beings. But I've been able to really connect with the Lyrans through that. And they're bringing like these ancient DNA cedar codes to help activate our DNA that's been dormant so that we can live up to our highest potential. And that is going to be hosted tomorrow at 12 p.m. PT. I'm going to share this real quick. There's my website. And I still got 22% off workshops and all that. LYRAN Activation special event. So you can use the discount code. And this is going to be about an hour-long session where I'm going to work with the Lyrans. I'm going to share some messages from them and do about an hour-long healing, clearing DNA activation. And just whatever else comes through, kind of taking advantage of the energies that we're experiencing right now. We just had some solar flares as well. And with the energies coming in from 3i Atlas. So what's up, guys? Now we'll open it up for Q&A. Thank you so much, Karen, for the super chat. I appreciate that. Okay, so if anybody has a question, put it in caps. Thank you. Saw her some days ago while in meditation. Saw who? I saw somebody mention Kay. So Kay is one of my other contacts. She came a little bit later. Talia was like my first contact and mentor. She was very much with me for the first year, and then Kay came in after that. So I speak with Kay regularly, though. I sense her regularly, feel her. She'll pop in, and she's an inner earth being. She's an Lemurian Atlantean descendant. So she's one of my other main contacts. She also works with the Alliance. You recorded it? Awesome. I hope they do too. The guy offered, he's like one of the producers, whenever I flew out there to record, he's like, "You're welcome back anytime." And I'm like, "Okay, well, invite me back. I'm down to come back on." So I did discover that Talia is actually, this is in my book, but Talia is actually a future version of me. So it's really interesting because a lot of these beings that are visiting us are actually other versions of ourselves or us from the future or beings from the future. So I had this training module probably about like 8 months ago or so where it was like it came in the form of a dream, but it was like so vivid. And this ship, it was a Federation ship filled with like Pleiadian beings. And Kay was on it too, actually. So there was it was mostly Pleiadian, but there were some other beings on it too. Some of these beings I'd been in telepathic communication with for years. But this ship came down, and as it came down from the sky, it was time traveling down here. So that was really emphasized to me in this dream or training module. And so these ships, they're time travel craft, which is pretty mind-boggling. There's a lot of time travel involved in all of this. And whenever it landed, the beings got out, and I got to hug them and interact with them and meet them and talk to them face to face. And that was pretty amazing. And the Pleiadian beings, they look very human, usually blonde hair, blue eyes, very beautiful, but they were a bit taller. I'd say maybe like 7 feet, and their bones were a bit bigger. So they were just like a bit bigger and taller than us, but besides that, looked very humanoid. So like whenever they hugged me, like they had to like lean way down to hug me, and that was pretty interesting. But yeah, there's time travel involved. If you are having contact or seeing any of these beings, most likely, or there's a good chance that it is another aspect of you or a being from the future. It's pretty fascinating. Some of us are open to having contact with higher vibration being ETs, but they don't seem to want to have contact with us. So you can't just willy-nilly say, oh, I want to have contact, and then get upset whenever nothing happens. Like, you have to be dedicated. At least this is my experience. You have to be dedicated. And it's hard because you have to really work on raising your frequency, which can be a pain in the ass sometimes because you have to go through shadow work. You have to detox your body. You have to engage in things like meditation to help you fine tune your perception. But frequency is really the number one thing because these are higher vibrational beings. They're at a frequency up here. We're kind of down here, and we have to kind of meet them in the middle. At least right now, our frequency collectively is rising. And the starseeds and light workers, like, they already automatically they're bringing in higher frequencies, but you really have to focus on that. And I'd say doing some sort of daily devotional practice would highly increase your chances of having some sort of a contact experience. So that could be 15 minutes sitting outside looking at the sky and just talk to them. Start talking to them telepathically so they are not separate from you. That's also a really big thing that people need to wrap their heads around. Telepathic communication is instant. We are all connected through consciousness. You are not necessarily looking to contact something outside of yourself because we're all connected. So really the key is going within and knowing that we're all connected through consciousness and that this can happen instantly. And if you set your intention, I would like to make contact or connect with my star family of the highest love and light. You can say a mantra like that or set that sort of intention. And you can even ask if any star family of the highest love and light or galactic beings of the highest love and light could give you some sort of a sign or some sort of a communication. Got to ask. Set an intention and ask. Very basic steps. And then do some sort of a devotional practice. And there's different ways that they can communicate. And I do have a video called 3 Ways That ETs May Be Communicating with You and You Don't Even Know It. You can find that on YouTube. That goes through some of the common ways that they communicate that you don't even know that they are communicating with you. And one of those is through your dreams. Often you'll receive, like, you're in a heightened state of awareness whenever you're sleeping or in the astral. Your frequency is probably higher. So it's easier for them to connect with you or show up or relay messages whenever you're in the dream space. So you can set the intention before bed. Here's the video, 3 ways ETs may be communicating with you and how to receive answers. So I'd highly recommend, look how young I look. That was 3 years ago. I'd highly recommend watching that video. Oh, I'm such a baby. So funny. So much has happened over the last 3 years. I'll put that video link in the chat right now. But so try that out. Dreams, signs, synchronicities. They began communicating with me through the clouds, which sounds pretty crazy, but they would literally like manipulate the clouds. I'd see signs and symbols in the clouds. I go over this in depth in my book too. So that might be a helpful resource to you. Okay, so I'm going to continue on. So basically raise your frequency, do some sort of a daily devotional practice. That could be a 10-15 minute meditation, sit outside for 10-15 minutes, connect with nature, look up at the sky, and then also set your intention and ask to have some sort of a benevolent experience. And then try that out. Frequency music can also help to raise your frequency. You may want to do other things that can help open your third eye or kind of detox your body so that you can pick up on the answers a little bit easier. But definitely watch that video. Robin, I started asking Very specific questions with benevolent beings after you all left and blown away. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Can you tell us any of her messages? So Talia's messages have, and I'm probably pretty behind here, but Talia's messages have been very much about, well, like I was saying, kind of those basic spiritual principles. We're all one. We're all connected through consciousness. She taught me how to develop my intuition. She taught me how to raise my frequency. And this might sound crazy. I explained this in my book, but like I said, I would hear her in my head all day, every day. She was training me for over a year. She trained me every single day. I did not work. I trained with these beings. And she would have me repeat to myself, I am raising my frequency, and really focus my intention on that. So I was doing that daily. And as you do that, you can pick up on communication better. Life just becomes easier. You activate dormant gifts and abilities by raising your frequency. But what she would do is there was this light down the street from my house, which they utilized to communicate with me. It was a street lamp. Normally it was white. And telepathically, she told me every time I would come home, she would tell me to focus on raising my frequency. And sometimes I'd be in a bad mood because I was going through like a dark night of the soul. I was purging a lot. Starseed boot camp was hard. You have to do a lot of inner healing. You have to do a lot of reflection. It's not easy. So she would tell me, focus on raising your frequency and watch the light. So I would show up. The light would be white. Sometimes I'd be in a bad mood or would be stressed out about something or whatever. She'd say, okay, focus on your frequency. I'd watch the light and I'd start to calm myself down and focus on, I am raising my frequency. I'm raising my vibration. And I just repeat that to myself. And as you repeat that to yourself, you start to co-create that. You start to create that because we are master manifestors. I am raising my vibration. And as I would repeat that, I would literally watch this light turn bright orange. It would start off slow and then it would turn bright orange as I got myself into a higher vibrational state. And then she'd say, okay, good job. Every time I came home, they would have me do that and practice with that light until near the end, whenever I had been doing it for months and months and months and practicing this, I came home and the light was just orange constantly. And I got the telepathic message, okay, you've raised your frequency high enough. Your baseline is high enough that you don't have to practice this anymore. So that was pretty cool. So a lot of personal development stuff. She's also taught me a lot of things about, our hidden history, them coming down. They've been coming down for thousands of years, interacting with humanity, with the Native Americans, all sorts of stuff. But we'll kind of leave it at that. I'm going to scroll down to see what people are talking about now, and then I'll go back up to look at some of the questions. Holy Spirit, the streetlights were also communicating. I thought I was going bonkers. Yeah, me too at first. Yeah, dark nights of the soul. I mean, it's like a metamorphosis. You are becoming the butterfly, right? Getting rid of those layers that do not serve you. Question, I was told that I was Lemurian. Does that mean my people are in Mount Shasta? You would definitely benefit from going to Mount Shasta. Yeah, so Mount Shasta, which I go there every summer and I host a retreat there each year, it's known for having the inner earth city Telos right underneath Mount Shasta. A lot of people have interactions with the Lemurians. So these are Lemurian refugees, basically, who survived, in some Atlantean, who survived the cataclysm that happened 12,000 something years ago, where like the Great Flood, right? And it destroyed Lemuria or Mu and Atlantis. So the survivors, some of them went to Mount Shasta and created Telos underneath Mount Shasta. And it's in a higher frequency state, but you can connect with it. And you can even go down there through like meditation and have very profound experiences there. I've had many very profound experiences there. But yeah, definitely Mount Shasta has your people. Sedona also is known for having a heavy inner earth connection. I was actually I don't know if it's really known for that, but whenever I started coming here, I was seeing the Lemurians. I was actually seeing them, or the inner earth beings. So I communicate with them here too. And Thunder Mountain, which is in the center of Sedona, is connected to Mount Shasta. So it's like they portal in and out. And I do believe there's some inner earth. There's definitely an inner earth presence in Sedona as well. Last 4 nights, I've had intense downloads, light codes, vibration and frequency have really gotten stronger. That's amazing. Yeah. And I believe it's like with this 3i Atlas wave that's coming in, there's so many codes, and it's projecting codes into the sun, which is sending that to us. It's interacting with our DNA. There's been a lot going on. There's been some major timeline shifts. So it's been pretty amazing. I've also been experiencing, a lot of shifts really since 3i Atlas came in, and since the Charlie Kirk event happened, a lot of shifts. What was it like to hear her in your head? That's a great question. So sometimes it comes in words, but not so much. Usually telepathy, it was like, it can be more of a feeling. It can come in different forms, but it's more of like a feeling that comes with a complete understanding. They don't necessarily need words to convey a message to you. I'm hearing holographic. It's like holographic. It's a holographic packet of information or a download that you get downloaded with. And it kind of depends on your unique gifts and abilities. I'm very clairvoyant. I see a lot of my telepathy is in a visual format. So I will receive a vision of the beings or the situation or whatever I am, even like remote viewing or whatever. And then I receive a complete just understanding or download about what they are conveying to me, what the message is. It's more of like just an automatic understanding. It's more clear and effective than words. Words can be misconstrued, but sometimes it does come in words. I think it can be a little bit unique for other people, but mostly it's just like an instant automatic understanding and kind of download. Sometimes they would use other things to get my attention by like flickering a light or doing like that, or like a ship would appear or other things. And then I would tune in and then start receiving the telepathic communication. Sometimes I'll just be walking around and randomly I get a telepathic message. Sometimes it'll come in words, like I said, sometimes it'll be a vision. And it felt like I wasn't alone in my body. It felt like I was like two people, which, I mean, I guess that sounds kind of crazy, doesn't it? But I was never alone. None of us are really alone, but it's like I felt like she was with me the whole time. And I believe since she's an aspect of me from the future, and I've seen her physical craft, I've seen her physically alter my physical environment in the here and now. So she's come here, she's here. But I also felt her like within me. Very interesting. And it's like I kind of merged with that aspect of myself throughout the training. So I write about that in detail in my book. But yeah, it was pretty trippy. How do you know if you're connected to the right being? That's a great question. So discernment, I should probably do a whole video on that. But I mean, I learned this the hard way, you guys, because I started communicating with the spiritual realm and then I started experiencing interference. And normally interference will tell you something that will either feed your ego or it will tell you something to upset you. You want to say, because it likes those upset emotions. It likes those lower frequency emotions. So that's how I learned the importance of really being very specific about what you are communicating with, what you are inviting in. Very specific. You always want to say, I am only connecting or only want to speak with beings of the highest love and light. in alignment with Christ consciousness for my highest good and the highest good of all. You can say something like that. So you set those boundaries in that specific intention. And then I also like to create sacred space around me, around my home, just to kind of keep, because sometimes you'll get, random spirits or whatever hanging out around, especially as you become more sensitive to that. So creating, gridding your house, gridding your property, only love and light can come in this space. And you can do a platinum bubble, visualize a platinum bubble of light around you. You can also call in the archangels, Archangel Michael, he's a protector. And then you can also pray for discernment. But whenever you're connecting with a benevolent being, it will feel like uplifting. It'll feel clear. And they're like wise. They're not going to upset you or feed your ego or inflate your ego. They're usually very neutral. I don't know about neutral. That could be a good way to describe it. Positive, but neutral. They're not going to rile you up. They're not going to get you to just to get upset or go off of negative emotions. And if you ever come into contact with a being who you don't know, it could be a trickster being, because there is a lot of false light out there. They'll act good. But if you come across an energy you're not sure about, just ask, are you of the light? It may say yes. It may say no. Say, you must answer me truthfully. Are you of the light? And if you aren't, you have to leave. Boom. Because we have free will. Do they use light language or telepathy? Some beings will use light language. Yeah, they'll communicate through different frequencies or another language, through different tones. I think so every now and then I'll hear that. I don't hear that too often, but every now and then I will, or I'll be prompted to start doing tones. Like I that energy in that frequency comes in, and I'll start like humming even, for example. So yeah, I believe they speak in light language as well. Yes, we are all worthy to receive communication. Exactly. Everybody can connect with their star family or their spirit guides, and it's the way that you communicate or make contact is very similar to like spirit guides and even source, because we're all one, even angelics. It's applicable to all of that. Diet to help with your frequency. Exactly. So I was a nutritionist before this, and I was very much into mental health and personal development and reprogramming your mind and your body, healing yourself. I was very much into that before the UFOs started showing up. So I strongly believe that having a better diet and being into personal development, mental health, and healing already greatly helped with my ability to make contact and communicate. Okay, so I'm looking for questions. Any info on October 30th impacts of Atlas being closest to Sun and our shift in consciousness? I would really, so I'm going live on Sunday too as a part of my normal live stream, and I would love to tune into that more for Sunday. I'm going to just write a note of that. Let me see. I'm seeing consciousness expansion. I'm seeing a wave of light codes and frequencies coming in at that time. I believe we'll get some solar flares, and it's already starting. We got a few solar flares today. I'm seeing a LYRAN, a Black Panther LYRAN being in a ship. Seeing also Federation. When we are closest to your sun, we will greatly activate. your pineal glands. The veil will thin. And I'm seeing DNA lighting up. I'm seeing a special mission involving some of the world leaders, some of the benevolent world leaders who are in the know. Alliance. So I'm seeing some alliance meetings taking place in that window. There might potentially be some ships landing. This would probably be hidden, but you might be able to see some in your skies. Let's see if we can ask collectively for a sighting. Let's all set our intention together for that. A sighting. That week. As 3i Atlas comes closer to the sun and closest to Earth, we can ask for our benevolent star family to show up in the sky and give us a sign. I'm seeing them writing down the impacts, like they're monitoring the situation, the consciousness. I'm hearing flybys. There will be flybys. Now, this is strange, but I'm hearing like some of the control systems crumbling. Like I'm sensing, I was hearing Jesuit order, potentially the Vatican. Some systems crumbling, control systems. That is correct. I'm asking if that will be behind the scenes or if we will see that. I'm getting there will be some sort of a public sign of that coming. I don't know the exact time frame. Those with the eyes to see. Okay. There you have it. I have a picture of that being who I was just seeing in my third eye that I would like to show you guys. I connected with him earlier as well. So he looks like this. It's like a Black Panther feline being. And I asked what his name was, and his name was Ra-Ul. It sounds like it's two separate names, Ra-Ul. A LYRAN ambassador. So I was just seeing him in my third eye as I was closing my eyes, and I asked him to assist with the LYRAN activation tomorrow. This also looks like him. This is from, this is a different being though, Orxa from the Vega Collective. This is from a Galactic Federation of Light, but he looks very similar to this. So I'll go ahead and actually just read this because this is good and this aligns with the information that I've been receiving as well. 3i Atlas is now broadcasting. The light streaming from 3i Atlas directly interferes with and helps collapse those lower frequency grids, which is what I was saying in one of my last videos, one of my last 3i Atlas videos about them sending pulses to Saturn and the moon and beginning to dissolve the 3D matrix. So the lower frequency grids that's been kind of suppressing us. It is like a divine override signal gradually scrambling the transmissions of the old matrix. This means the thought patterns of fear, division, and servitude that were once reinforced energetically are losing their grip, Many of you may have noticed that it is easier now to see through lies, to break unhealthy habits, or to question authority than it was even a few years ago. The fog is lifting, as if a radio station broadcasting constant static is finally being shut down. Exactly what I've been getting messages about as well. So that's what he looks like, this, the being that I'm seeing. Black Panther Lyran being, feline. And Vega is a star in the Lyra constellation, one of the brightest stars as well. Okay, I'm going to scroll down now and see what's going on. Hey, Kent, has Kay said anything about us being taken to inner Earth while certain events take place on the surface? She hasn't said anything about that specifically, but recently she was telling me, I shared this a little bit on the Dr. Sala interview that I was on recently, 2 or 3 weeks back. The last time I saw her, I was on a hike near Bell Rock Vortex here in Sedona, and I saw her out of the corner of my eye standing there. And I looked over at her, and a telepathic communication ensued. So she was on the ground with me. And she said there was cleanup occurring underground, and kind of like a war, an underground war, cleaning out some of these dumbs and some of these dark facilities. So that was one of the last communications that I got from her having to do with that. But you can actually go to inner Earth, set your intention to go there through your consciousness or in the astral as you are sleeping to receive healing or training. So you can set that intention before bed and ask to be taken to an inner Earth healing temple or an inner Earth classroom. So I would try that. Thundercats are real. Thundercats, let's go. What does whose ship look like? What does whose ship look like? Awesome, Andrea. Watch all your shows. So infatuated. I was told I have serious powers. I'm starting to obtain them. That's awesome. Yeah, it's all. Yeah, I mean, you already have it. It's already all within you. We're just starting to activate it. And with 3i Atlas coming in, the interactions with the sun, these light codes coming in, like it's activating our DNA. So super potent time for manifestation and just starting to step into your power and letting go of what no longer serves you. Somebody asked why Charlie Kirk was connected to this information. I bring that up because that event created a massive timeline split. So I talk about that in my Charlie Kirk video if you want to check that out. And we've been experiencing a lot of kind of wonky timeline stuff since that happened. Talia's ship. So I explained the first one that I saw of hers was a diamond craft. Some of the other ones I've seen, I've got a picture I can share with you guys. Where is, well, that's not my best picture. Well, I'll just go ahead and share my screen here. Okay. So the first one was a diamond. There's Talia right there, Andromedan. And then let's see here. So the first craft that I saw of hers was kind of similar to this. It had a row of red lights and then a row of greenish blue lights, and it was like a diamond shape, but it was made out of like a metal. So this isn't exactly what it looked like, but it was similar to that diamond shaped craft. I've seen other craft besides that. This is one of my pictures. It was doctored up a little bit from a MUFON investigator. I wish I had so there's me, and then I got that craft to appear. It's kind of blurry. I don't know where my better one is. It's not in this folder, unfortunately. Here is another. These are like 2 black triangle-like craft that appeared once. So I set my intention to make contact. I set up my camera. There's me. And then these appeared just for a split second. I was taking consecutive photos back to back to back to back. And in only one photo, these appeared. So they were only there for a split second. And to me, this looks like kind of like black triangle-like craft. And then it looks like a tear in space-time or some sort of a portal. And these craft are very fast. So I might have some naysayers like, oh, it's not blurry. It's not like, or it's blurry. It's not like a super clear picture. Okay, you try photographing an interdimensional craft that also what we are seeing in this dimension isn't the whole thing. Necessarily. We could be missing pieces because our visible light spectrum, what we can see with our eyes, is very small. It's only like a sliver out of the whole spectrum of light. But also, they're incredibly fast. They're interdimensional. They portal in and out. They can shift their frequency slightly to become invisible or become cloaked. So, boom. But that appeared in just one photo. So there's a few examples. Besides that, I've also seen her. I shared it in the Ancient Aliens clip, which you can also find that clip on their YouTube channel. That, yeah, they do. They phase in and out. So she appeared also to me in a golden orb. So I've also seen them as like plasma, energetic plasma balls or sacred geometry shapes as well. Oh, somebody witnessed a dragon phase in and out today. That's amazing. I was actually seeing a dragon earlier during meditation. Okay. Does anybody have any other questions? I love Third Eye Atlas meditation. I would love a Third Eye Atlas meditation. So that's what we'll be working on tomorrow during the LYRAN activation. And we'll see what I cover on Sunday. I'll tap into, I'm sure a ton of downloads are going to come in after the Third Eye Atlas activation I'm hosting tomorrow. So I'll tap into that more and see what we want to cover on Sunday and just see what other updates come up. What's the most common shape you see? I feel DNA activations are available to all. They are. Yeah, I believe it's impacting everybody, but those who are open to it, open to receive, and those who are ready, I believe are getting more. They're more receptive to it. But I do believe like it's impacting everybody and we're all connected. So what happens to us, we're like the antenna and then it's going outward and in fact impacting everybody else as well. Hi, Brandy. How's it going? What do you use to whiten your teeth? Nothing. I mean, toothpaste. I use fluoride-free toothpaste. I've got the Native brand right now, but I've used a couple other brands. I can't remember what they're called. I believe my 8-year-old granddaughter is a starseed. How can I help her? I would look up my interviews with Sherry Divband. And look up Sherry Divband's YouTube channel because she specializes in the Starseed children. And she also runs a virtual school for Starseed kids. So Sherry Divband. She has a YouTube channel. She has a website. I would check her out. Reclaim your DNA, all strands fully activated. I do this every night before bed. That's amazing. And that's a lot of the training that Talia was having me go through, was literally just setting intentions and reprogramming yourself, because we are divine creators. What we focus on manifests. And if you repeat that, I am activating my DNA. I am raising my frequency. I am stepping into my highest potential. I am in alignment with my highest timeline, my highest path. You begin to go that direction, especially if you repeat it and if you're consistent with it. Like she would have me write down like affirmations and mantras, and I would just kind of stick them, in the bathroom, next to my computer, on my dresser or whatever. So then I would see that, and it was really tapping into my subconscious and reminding me to create that reality for myself. Very powerful. What do you feel about Third Eye Atlas coming back from around the sun in December and around the winter solstice? What difference do you feel will be then from now? I'm hearing many things will change. Let's see. I'm seeing a storm, actually. I heard the word storm. I'm sensing political stuff. There's going to be a really big political shift, because I just saw a vision of Trump in winter. I'm seeing K now, inner earth beings. I'm seeing the Black Panther, Raul. But I'm hearing subject to change. So timelines can fluctuate a little bit depending on where we're at. But this is a golden key, a golden opportunity for growth. Very massive window, portal. Kylo says, yeah. Come here, buddy. Let me show you guys my cat, Kylo. But I would like to tune into that some more. And maybe I'll share more about that on Sunday for the winter solstice and Three Eye Atlas, the impacts. Okay, so I'll start to wrap this up here soon, though. But let me see. Is Talia interdimensional? I think she has kind of like different forms. She's like a physical being, but then you also have like a spiritual form that she connects with me kind of as a guide at times. But she is a real like physical being too. I'd say she's 5th density or higher. Do you use theta waves? So I use 963 hertz a lot, which simulates the crown chakra. Kylo, he's obsessed with going outside. He's trying to open up the door. Come here. Binaural beats are great also, because that helps get you into a deep state, and it helps to bridge your right and left hemisphere. So then your consciousness expands and you can access more information in the quantum field. So I do like using binaural beats. I actually asked for a power up, as I learned from James Gillen, and it happened instantly. I was laughing in excitement. That's amazing. Yeah. So if you see a ship or you see a light, send a telepathic message to it and say, if you're a ship, can you please power up? And then sometimes they will. They'll get brighter and expand. It's pretty incredible. Great question. I do believe Trump is a time traveler. And Katie sent me this picture earlier. Tyler always stirring the pot. Donald Trump shared this picture. So it's him with a hat on his, I don't know if that's Twitter. Oh, it's on Truth Social. If you guys have been following my channel for a bit, you know that I'll see these time travelers, and often I see them with a hat that looks just like that. So I believe that is actually a comm or a sort of communication where he is kind of hinting at that. And then you've got Baron Trump in those time traveler books. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it explains that they're time travelers, and that came out many years ago. It says that they are. What is the book? There's also another one, Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey book. Yeah, if anybody knows the name of that book, though, put it in the chat. And I believe Melania is a Pleiadian operative. If you're here right now, please give this video a like. Thank you, Mary. And if you signed up for the LYRAN activation tomorrow, you should have received a link to the private video. It will be at 12 p.m. PT. You can watch it afterwards if you can't make it live. So, and if you want to sign up for that, the link is in the video description. They're fast and make no noise, exactly. The ships. When our pineal gland is all open, will we see or know our Akashic records, past lives? I think that kind of depends on the specifics of that depend on you and your unique journey and what you are supposed to know. Sometimes I'll receive blips of it. Like in Mount Shasta, I had on this like shawl that I was wearing like this, like this. I was doing like that. And suddenly I had this kind of consciousness altering flash of me wearing a shawl like that back in the times of Jesus. And I tapped into a past lifetime, and I knew I could heal with my hands. And I was learning the teachings, the spiritual teachings. So you may see blips or feel blips like that as your third eye is activating, definitely. And you can even meditate on that too. There's tons of Akashic Records meditations and past life meditations that you can do. But yeah, I believe you'll be able to tap into that more easily. Rusty asked, do you believe all UFOs come from other worlds, or do you believe they come from other earthly continents that have been hidden from us? Definitely some of them are here. I do believe that there are extraterrestrial bases here as well. Some underground, well, Telos, they have the Silver Fleet, the Lemurians, the inner earth beings up near Mount Shasta. They have silver disc-like craft, and it's known as the Silver Fleet. So they have ships and they live here. There's also like Stargates and other ET bases like deep down in the ocean and things like that. As well as some of the other, you know, he is. Yeah, he is. How do you discern between satellites and crafts? So you can ask them to power up, send them a telepathic message and ask them to power up or change direction and see what happens. You can also get an app that will tell you if there's a satellite in the sky. So you can cross-reference that. But yeah, you can ask it to do a power up or ask it to do something and just send it telepathic message. Just act like you're already great at telepathy. Just start talking to it. Ask them to show you a sign or something. Sometimes they'll flash at you too, or you'll see like a sparkle, or you'll see something. So just test it out. Okay. The diamond craft is what I see most. That's really interesting. Yeah. What's on Sunday? I have a live stream on Sunday. I haven't made the event yet, but it'll be at 12 p.m. PT. So I'll probably focus on 3i Atlas and get some more updates and see what other sort of updates. And I'll tune into the quantum field and just see what's best to talk about. But since I'm doing the LYRAN activation tomorrow with 3i Atlas, and I wrote down a few questions to tune into, like what can we expect over the winter solstice? I'd like to tap into that more. And then at the end of October, November, when 3i Atlas is behind the sun, what we can expect some of those impacts. And then I'll see what other sorts of updates want to come up. What's your perspective on the Ascension glossary? I found some of it helpful. Not all of it resonates, but I do find some of it helpful. And she, on the Ascension glossary website, she does talk a lot about the Emerald Order, which has been coming up in my awareness for the last couple of years. And I find that's very intricately connected with everything that we are experiencing right now. So I found that information helpful. I don't agree with everything that she says, but I found some of it helpful. No, it's not too late to join the activation tomorrow. You can sign up with the link in the video description or go on my website, lilynovacontact.com. And again, if you can't make it live at 12 p.m. PT, which is 2 p.m. CT, 3 p.m. ET, then you can watch the replay. It's quantum. You'll still experience the effects. Also saw 3 UFOs you could see without the night vision. That's awesome. Do I have Sherry in here? Sherry? I just saw that name. I'm right-handed and I'm pretty into this, so I don't think so. Okay, guys. That's a good question. Will 3i Atlas leave forever after December, and will we still receive downloads? That is a great question. I'd like to tune into that more for Sunday. Kind of see the timeline of 3i Atlas. I'm just going to take a photo of that question. And I'll tune into that. Yeah, it's a fluid operation, exactly. Like with these predictions and stuff, things can change. Ultimately, it's up to us. I think some things are pretty set in stone and very highly probable, but things can fluctuate a bit. There's still like a back and forth between the light and the dark, and it also just depends on what the collective is ready for. Like I said, whenever I was tuning in to 3i Atlas, I was seeing them, writing notes like they're monitoring how it's impacting humanity, and I think that also determines what level of activity we're going to see and experience. Oh, I'm way behind. Okay, I'm going to scroll down here and then we will wrap it up in just a second. I won't be doing, I have a retreat next week, so I probably won't be doing any personal readings right now. Sherry Divband is doing personal readings, and she's she's a really great intuitive. So if you're looking for a reading, you can check her out. Yeah, I'm expecting major upgrades from the activation tomorrow, and just you can try this on for yourself too. Just set your intention to connect with 3i Atlas. Go check out my other 3i Atlas videos and just feel into that energy if you feel called, or just set the intention tonight before bed to connect with the ship and see what happens. The fedora hat, exactly. Okay, guys, so we will go ahead and wrap it up now. The activation is at 12 p.m. PT. Again, you share my screen. If you want to sign up for it, you can go to my website, lilynovacontact.com, and there's 22% off still. That's going to be ending, I think, after this weekend. 22% off all workshops and activations and sessions and everything. There's my book. And then the LYRAN Activation 3i Atlas Divine Blueprint codes. And the discount code works for that right now. So you can do that. There's also a link in the video description. Let me see if there's anything else. I think that's it. Okay, guys, I will be back on Sunday, so I will see you then. Turn notifications on. If you're here right now, give this video a like, and I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I'm expecting tons of upgrades, and I'm super excited for what's to come. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. I'll see you on Sunday. Take care.